Good afternoon from the second age of reason. Today we're going to discuss an issue that is probably of interest to many of us. It's that disease that's spreading across the world. It seems to be spreading awfully fast. It's a virus. In the past, you'd say if something was unlikely or nearly impossible, you'd say it would happen when pigs would fly. And in this case, we're seeing a swine flu. But is it really the swine flu, or what kind of a malady is it? And why is it spreading so far, so fast, so quickly? Part of it is most diseases are in individuals, and they just are localized to one or a few individuals in small groupings. In this case, it's much different than that. So you have to wonder, where is it coming from? Is it, for instance, man-made? Or are there some other extraordinary distribution things? They say it's so different that the current vaccines do not recognize it, or it doesn't treat well with the current vaccines. So it's something totally different. So could it perhaps have come from like a volcano eruption, where a pocket of this virus, which has been sealed up for a long, long time, suddenly burst out, and by the prevailing winds was spread around the earth and allowed to incubate for a time? Perhaps. Perhaps in outer space there are clouds of different pathogens and viruses floating out there, waiting for a planet to sweep them up. And then they rain down an unsuspecting population. And of course that would account also for a widespread distribution of the disease. So there's many possibilities here. But the important thing is, what are you going to do to be more careful in your day-to-day life? Part of the thing is that, I know with my company, they put signs up in the lavatory, in the loo, so that you can make it less likely for you to become ill or infected. Practice number one, they say, if you're coughing or sneezing, cover your mouth. And I know in some countries they've been putting masks, like medical masks, over their faces, which may help if they're used properly, but they're not like a magic talisman or anything. And another thing is to frequently wash your hands, and that makes sure that whatever pathogens are on your hands get washed away. But most people go into the bathroom to wash their hands, and you have to think about with communicable diseases that there are certain what I call contact points where they could be communicated or transmitted. For instance, if you're going into the restroom, is there a door? Do you touch that door? Is there a handle or a knob or whatever on that door? Well, there's a contact point where you can pick up stuff. Once you get in there, you use a fixture. And when you're done using the fixture, you flush it. And is the flushing done by pressing a lever, a button, or is it done with a proximity detector, which just detects when you move away and it takes care of itself, which is actually a pretty good idea. Then, when you're done, if you're in a stall, do you have to flip the latch to get out of the stall? Or does it open itself? I don't know. But there's another touch point. Then you go to wash your hands. You go to the sink. Do you turn the water on with the faucets with your hands? So that's another touch point. And then you put soap in your hands. Do you push a little pump to pump the soap into your hands? There's another touch point. When you wash your hands with this antibacterial soap, thinking it's going to be cleansing your hands of this this pathogen. However, it's a virus, it's not a bacteria, so the antibacterial soap may have limited effect on it. The best thing happening is that the water is washing it off, and not that the soap will be rendering it inert. After that, you go to dry your hands. Do you use paper towels? Because then you may have to reach up and touch a dispenser and either crank it or pull the towels out of it, which is another touch point. Some dispensers actually automatically detect you and output the paper into your hands. And there are other hand drying mechanisms that use hot air, which is a way of drying your hands without touching anything. Then of course you have to leave the facility, which requires you maybe to touch the door on the way out. And those things are all touch points. But there's other touch points that are probably even more filthy. And they are so obvious. They're in front of you all the time. It's called your computer, the keyboard, and the mouse. Those things just sit there for months, weeks, years, whatever, accumulating stuff. So you may want to look at the cleanliness of your office and cubicle areas. Also, when you travel, do you travel in a car or take public transit? Now, public transit is smart in the sense of energy, and that many people can use a single thing, but at the same time, many people can be communicating diseases there as well. So, in that case, maybe going in your own car is probably a safer bet. Which also brings to mind a lot of the means of transportation that are used around the world for other things other than just going to work. There's like ships and airplanes. And those are other places where a lot of people are in one place and diseases can incubate, especially like in a plane that is sealed and you're flying all over the world in an incubator. And you are the petri dish. So, you may want to rethink some of your travel plans as this event unfolds and keep doing the best practices of keeping yourself clean and away from disease. So, that's all for now. We'll be seeing you.